what did you eat yesterday? Think about it for a moment. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe a snack or two. Now here is what I need to tell you. And I need you to really hear this. Some of the foods that most Americans over 50 eat every single day, foods that feel normal, foods that feel harmless, foods that have been on the dinner table for decades, are quietly doing something to the heart that most people don't discover until the damage is already done. I'm not talking about obvious junk food. I'm not talking about things you already know are bad for you. I'm talking about foods that are in your refrigerator right now. Foods you might have had this morning. Foods you've never been warned about in the way you should have been. Today, I'm going to show you 5 of them. And by the end of this video, I promise you will never look at your plate the same way again. Before we get to the 5 foods, I want you to understand something about how the heart ages, because this is the part that changes everything. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it responds to what you put it through every single day. But unlike your bicep or your leg, your heart doesn't get rest days. It beats around 100,000 times every 24 hours. It has been doing that since before you were born, and it will not stop until the day you die. That kind of constant, relentless work means the heart is uniquely sensitive to what fuels it and what damages it. Now, here is what most people don't fully understand. The damage that food does to the heart is not dramatic. It doesn't happen in one meal or 1 week or even 1 year. It builds, slowly, silently, over decades. There is a process called inflammation. Think of it as a slow, low-level fire burning inside your blood vessels. Every time you eat something that triggers that fire, it adds a little more heat, a little more damage to the walls of the arteries, a little more buildup of the plaque that narrows those vessels over time. And here's the part that should make every person over 50 sit up straighter in their chair. After 50, the heart has already absorbed decades of that slow fire. It has less reserve. It is less forgiving of continued damage. The foods that your body might have handled more easily at 30 or 35 are now pushing against a system that is working harder to keep up. This is why what you eat after 50 matters, more not less, than what you ate at any other point in your life. So let's talk about the 5 foods, and let's talk about what they're actually doing inside your chest while you eat them. Let's start with something that is sitting in millions of American refrigerators right now. The lunch meat drawer. Ham, bologna, salami, pepperoni, hot dogs, packaged turkey slices. These are the foods that have been lunchtime staples for generations. Quick, easy, familiar. And they are among the most consistently damaging foods you can eat when it comes to your heart's long-term health. Here's why. Processed meats are loaded with 2 things the aging heart absolutely cannot afford in large amounts: sodium and a group of preservatives called nitrates. Sodium, salt, at high levels forces the blood vessels to hold more fluid. That raises blood pressure. And high blood pressure is essentially making your heart work harder with every single beat, all day, every day. Over years and decades, that extra workload thickens and weakens the heart muscle in ways that can't always be undone. The nitrates used to preserve these meats have been shown in research to contribute to the hardening and narrowing of blood vessel walls, the exact process that leads to heart attack and stroke. Think about a 72-year-old man who has eaten a ham sandwich for lunch almost every day for 30 years. He feels fine. He's not overweight. He exercises a little. But at his physical, his blood pressure is consistently high, and his doctor finds early narrowing in his arteries. His diet is one of the first things his cardiologist points to. This doesn't mean you can never have these foods again. But if deli meat is a daily habit, that habit is worth changing. What you can do, swap processed deli meats for fresh cooked chicken or turkey you prepare yourself. Canned wild salmon, hard-boiled eggs. These give you protein without the sodium and preservatives that wear on your vessels over time. This one surprises people the most, and I understand why. Bread has been on the American table since the beginning. Cereal has been a morning ritual for most people since childhood. White rice feels gentle, neutral, even healthy. But here is what these foods do inside your body, and specifically inside your blood vessels. When you eat highly refined, processed carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, most breakfast cereals, pastries, crackers. Your body breaks them down almost immediately into sugar. It's a rapid flood of glucose into the bloodstream. Your body responds by releasing a surge of insulin to manage that sugar. And when this flood and surge pattern happens repeatedly, day after day, year after year, it does something quietly devastating. It drives up inflammation in the blood vessels. It steadily raises triglycerides, a type of fat in the blood that damages arteries. It contributes to insulin resistance, which is the foundation of type 2 diabetes, and it promotes the buildup of the arterial plaque that narrows the pathways your heart depends on. People are often shocked to learn that a bowl of cornflakes with skim milk can spike blood sugar more dramatically than a small candy bar. The packaging looks so clean and healthy, but the effect on the body, particularly the aging body, tells a very different story. What you can do. This is not about giving up bread forever. It's about trading up whole grain bread with visible seeds and fiber, brown rice or quinoa instead of white, steel-cut oats instead of processed cereal. These slower, more complex carbohydrates give your body the same energy with a fraction of the blood sugar spike, and your arteries feel that difference over time. Here is where it gets a little surprising, because this food category hides something that most people have never been properly warned about. For years, people were told that fat was the enemy, that butter was dangerous, that the answer was low-fat everything, margarine instead of butter, and fat-free salad dressings. Millions of Americans made the switch, genuinely trying to do the right thing for their hearts, but many of the products created in response to that low-fat message contained something called partially hydrogenated oils, what most people know as trans fats. And trans fats are now understood to be among the most harmful substances you can put into your cardiovascular system. They raise the bad kind of cholesterol. They lower the good kind. They promote inflammation directly in the arterial walls. They have been linked to a dramatically increased risk of heart attack, not slightly increased, dramatically. The FDA took significant action to remove trans fats from food products. But here is where you need to pay careful attention. Under current labeling rules, a product can claim 0 trans fats if it contains less than half a gram per serving. If you eat 2 or 3 servings, which happens easily, those fractions add up. Bottled salad dressings, flavored coffee creamers, packaged pastries, microwave popcorn, refrigerator biscuits, certain margarines. Many of these still contain partially hydrogenated oils in small amounts, enough to matter over time. What you can do, read ingredient lists, not just nutrition labels. If you see the words partially hydrogenated anywhere in the ingredients, put it back. Dress your salad with olive oil and a splash of lemon or vinegar. Use real butter in small amounts. It's a far better choice than chemically altered fats. Cook with avocado oil or olive oil. When someone over 50 wants something warm, comforting, and quick, soup is often the answer. And there is nothing wrong with that instinct. Soup can be wonderful for you, but the canned and packaged soups lining most grocery store shelves carry a sodium load that is almost hard to believe until you read the label yourself. A single can of popular canned soup, just one can, the kind meant for 1 or 2 servings, can contain more than 1,800 to 2,200 milligrams of sodium. The recommended daily limit for heart health, especially for people over 50, is around 1,500 milligrams total for the entire day, which means 1 bowl of canned soup for lunch can blow past your entire daily sodium budget before dinner has even started. And for the aging heart and aging blood vessels, that sodium spike isn't a minor inconvenience. It's a direct strain. Sodium causes the body to retain water, which increases the volume of blood the heart has to push through the vessels. Blood pressure rises. The heart works harder. The vessel walls take on more pressure. Do this daily for years, especially during a time of life when the arteries are already beginning to naturally stiffen, and the cumulative effect on cardiovascular health is serious. Now what you can do, look for soups